Good morning, dear students. Welcome back in biology class. Today we are going to discuss the continued concept in abiotic components. In previous class, we discussed about the abiotic components. That's the major abiotic component like a temperature. In that concept, you must be remember the point, the two very important points based on the tolerance of temperature. Those two are the first one euthermal organisms and second one stenothermal organism. So other than these 2 points, the general concepts are coming in that temperature ideas. So in this also we go for the another very important major abiotic component, that is called as a water. So water and soil are called as a major abiotic components. If they are asked for you the long type question, then you must be explain these three: temperature, water and soil. So let us we start. What is the concept in the water? How it will be helps to plants and animals? So this is the first point is that, what is that? The amount of water determines the type and distribution of plants in different areas. This is, you know that these plants are organism. We also, where the more amount of water, in that we are going to living conditions. Why means, if all abiotic components are in a good manner, good condition, then only the biotic components are there, only living conditions. So that's way you must be remember, this is the point: either temperature, either water, either soil, either light or air. That's we know that oxygens, that's the plants are more. If the plants are more, there must be a water condition will be good. If water condition is less, then plants are become less and the oxygen capacity of organism is also becoming less. So due to that reasons, the water play very important. That's you must remember, the amount of water determines the type and distribution of plants in different areas. Okay. Next, second point, the water availability limited in deserts, that only plants with spatial adaptations make it possible to grow there. Those plants which are present in deserts are called as a xerophytes. Hydrophytes and xerophytes, there are two categories of the plants based on the water condition, water availability conditions. So hydrophytes, those are nothing but those plants which are present in more water content. Next, if the less availability of the water, in that these type of the plants are there, those are called as xerophytes. Xerophytes best example is that cactus, opuntia. So these are all the spine needle like structures that will be modified. The leaf is modified into the needle like structures in these plants. Those plants are called as a xerophytes. Why that modification is going on? Based on the amount of water. If the amount of water is more, there is the modification like a leaf completely. Okay na? So but if the amount of water is become less, there the leaf is modified into the spine needle like structures. So those are also same function as an leaves which are present in hydrophytes plants. Okay. So these xerophytes, where these are commonly present, these are present in the deserts. Okay. So next, third point, the survival, productivity, distribution of plants mostly depends on water. Yeah, obviously, not only for the plants, in organisms like animals also. If the more water content is there the more survival condition is going on. Next, production. That's remember as a reproduction concept, as a sexual and asexual. So because due to this major abiotic factor like a water, if it is more, their survival capacity also more, productivity capacity also more, and distribution. Those plants are undergoing to the distributed, where the plants there only starts to seed germination, where the water in that area the seed germination is going on continuously. Based on this condition, the survival, productivity, distribution of plants mostly depends upon the water. If the water is more, the plant's production is more. If the water is less, the plant production is also becoming less. So these are all nothing but a general concepts. Okay. Next one, the chemical composition, pH of water becomes very important to the distribution of plants. Yeah, we are having so many vegetations are there, some rich vegetations are there. So rich vegetation meaning is that there is the plant number will become more. So those type forest areas, so Amazon forest or like that, so many forest, why there is the more production rate of the plant is there should be a chemical composition. The plants requires the minerals, salts, ionic concentrations, those must be present in the water. That water will be helps to plant for the production and distribution of plants. So like that, dear students, must be remember the chemical composition of the water also play a very important role. So that sulfate content or water content or ionic concentrations contents, these are all compositions must be required to the plants. So that should be present in where? In water. So that is the chemical composition. pH, that is the hydrogen ion concentration. Based on this, we are going to find out whether the water is in the neutral conditions or acidic conditions or basic conditions. So you must be remember, already you know that if the pH is almost all 1 to 6.9, then we are going to say it is a acidic. If it is exactly 7.0, then it is called as a, what is that? Neutral conditions. If more than 7.1 to up to the 14.5 or 9, then it is called as a basic conditions. See, this is the range of the pH. Based on this range, we must be find out whether the chemical composition of that water in acidic nature or neutral nature or basic nature, based on the litmus paper of pH. So that's why pH will be helps to us to give the ideas about the water, whether it is in this range or this range or this range, and also helps to, what is that? Distribution of the plants. So this is very important. Another point you must remember as the chemicals. Next, pH. Then come next point, based on tolerance of salt, there are two types of the organisms are there. Yeah. Water means in that there is the presence of salinity conditions. Salinity meaning is that salt, the salt concentration. If it is more, the some organisms are existing there. If it is less, the some organisms are existing in that also. If it is moderate, there also some organisms are existed. Okay, like that, based on that conditions, that is nothing but a salt. The tolerance, salt tolerance, there are two types of the organism. The first type is called euryhaline organism and second one stenohaline organism. Dear students, see here, euryhaline, as we are considering temperature, in the temperature it should be a eurythermal, and here it is an euryhaline. Haline meaning is that salinity, salt. So that's why euryhaline organism, same, that part only we are going to write. What is that? The organisms which tolerate in wide range of salinities. Wide range means more. If the salt concentration is more, in that the some organisms are having a tolerant level. They must be living in that. Those type of the organisms are called as a euryhaline organisms. So next one, stenohaline organisms. Euryhaline organisms are almost all we are seeing in sea. So in stenohaline organisms we are seeing in rivers, like that. The euryhaline organisms having a wide range of salinities. Okay. Next, stenohaline organisms. What is this? The organisms which are restricted to a narrow range of salinities, particular range, not that extent more, not become less. That type of only one range, the narrow range of salt concentration must be present in that water. If it is more, then the survival of those organisms is becoming very critical. So that type of organisms are called as a stenohaline organisms. Those organisms which are present in almost all river conditions. The river organisms are having a narrow range of salinities, and sea organisms are having a almost all sea or oceans. Those organisms are present. Those are undergoes to the wide range of tolerance level of salinity. So these 2 points you must be remember in the water. What is that? Euryhaline, stenohaline. Eurythermal, stenothermal, like that. So this is the general concept about the what is that? Water. Then come the another major abiotic component which are also play very important role in the distribution of organisms. So that is called as a soil. The soil, based on soil conditions, we know that everything will be defense. If the soil is rich, that must be have the fertile conditions. If soil is not rich with any other components like that water, mineral compositions or salt, these phosphates, sulfurs, then the fertile soil is almost all undergoes to the barren land. Why? Means that surface is not for the any type of the organisms. So that's why, dear students, the soil composition is play very important role in the organisms conditions. Okay. Then come first point. What is that? The vegetation on the earth directly result of nature of soil. That is a rich vegetation. Rich vegetation means the plant conditions. If the plants are more, we know that we are having some hotspots conditions are there. Biodiversity. Our biodiversity is more. Why biodiversity is more? Because in that areas the plant distribution, plant vegetation is becoming more. If plant vegetation is more means in that area the presence of soil also become a very good conditions. It's have all type of the compositions. So that's way that directly result in the nature of soil. Okay. Next, it provides, what is that nature of soil? It provides water, mineral salts and movement to the plants. That's very important. The salt or any mineral compositions or ionic concentration, phosphorus, nitrate, sulfate, so and water, these are all will be responsible for the movement to the plants. Means plants are undergoing to the production, growth. So that's type of movements having a different role in the soil, because soil is having a main important role as a, it must be has the water, it must be has the mineral salts compositions. So these are helps to plants for their all type of the metabolic activities like a photosynthesis, like a respirations. Okay. Then come next. See here, the constituents, that soil constituent, soil composition and where it will be origin, the particular place. Okay. Origin, temperature, And another very important one is that water holding capacity, aeration, minerals determine the flora and fauna of particular place. Just see here what's they are saying, that how that soil will become a rich, which soil is good for which type of the organism. Dear students, you must be remember, all places are not having a same type of the soil. Some is red soil is there, black soil is there, clay soil is there. This is the different soil. Sand is there. Sand is not good for the vegetation purposes, okay na, but clay soil, black soil, these are play very important role in the which one, that is called as a water holding capacity. If the water holding capacity is more in the soil, then that nature of soil is becoming different, and that soil is helps for the vegetation purposes. In that area, the more plants production is going on. So that's way the constituent complete chemical compositions and origin, where it will be origin. Next, that's temperature of the soil. Next, water holding capacity, aeration, that must be how the aeration for the roots germination purposes. It must be goes the respiratory gas. Those gas will be movement takes place in the plants, and the roots germination purposes, that soil must be have the some pores, that's we called as a pores. So that is nothing but a aeration, it must be required. Next, it must be has the minerals. These all play very important role in the determine the flora. Flora meaning is that plants, fauna meaning animals. Remember this word. Flora means plants, fauna means animals which are present in that particular place. If you just consider as a north areas, as a polar regions, in the polar regions we are not having that much of plants and animals due to the that climatic conditions, that topographic conditions. The based on topography, if you coming down and down in the south sides, almost there is the presence of more rich vegetation is going on. So why means the origin of soil and water content and moderate level of temperature, those all tropical conditions having a more type of the vegetations. So in that vegetation there is the more animals and more plants are present. So that's why, dear students, the nature of soil will be depends upon the which type of the flora and which type of the fauna will become existed in that area. Come to the last concept. What is that? The parameters such as same concept, pH, mineral composition and topography determine type of vegetation. The topography meaning is that complete climatic conditions overall. So what type of the climate is there? That environment will be determine the type of the vegetation. Just think about that tropical areas and desert areas and polar areas. Tropical areas having a rich vegetations, because the overall climatic condition is becoming in the normal moderate range. And come to the desert area, so compared to the water and soil, there is more temperature is there, hot conditions. That hot condition determines the almost all the decreasing condition of the flora and fauna. Where the oasis is there, that oasis is nothing but a water condition, water bodies. In that area only there is the some plants we are going to see in deserts. If you go to the polar areas, that is the 0 degrees temperature is completely become down, that is the ice areas. There is some restricted animals only present, restricted plants only present, like that polar bears are there. So those only there is, means their vegetation will become less. Like this, dear students, that topography determines the type of vegetations and almost all which type of the animals are present in that area. That's why, dear student, the parameters main important same as in water. What is that? The pH conditions. Next, mineral composition of that soil will determine the type of the vegetation. These are all will be a general concept. You have the particular some important points. If you remember, then easily you are going to write these concepts. That's nothing but a abiotic concept. Like that, dear students, in today's class we know that the abiotic components like water and soil. So in next class we go for the another important concept in the organisms and population. And here I told you the remembering point in water, that should be a uri-haline organisms and steno-haline organisms. That's one is that. And another very important one is that I told you compositions, the water composition based on the salinity, salt concentration. In inland waters, those river bodies we say in inland water, almost all there is the concentration of salt will be less than 5%. Less than 5%. And in sea, it should be having a 30 to 35%. It is a narrow range, a restricted area. Next, the hypersaline lagoons, that is the almost all nadugadde ant kariತೀವಿ ದ್ವೀಪ. Hypersaline, hyper means more. Okay na? In that the more salt concentration is going on in that water bodies, how much percentage it will become? It should be a more than 100%. So based on this one, the organisms are existed in particular water bodies, whether it is in inland water or sea water or lagoon. And you also remember in media or in paper, in televisions, though almost all there is the fishes are going to die. They are saying like that. Why that fishes are become died? Due to this condition, due to salt concentration, due to more composition of the chemicals from the factories. So like these type of the activities will affect the organisms which are present in water bodies. So due to these reasons, if it is moderate level, no problem. If it is more, some organisms are become die. If it is less also, some organisms are become die. So based on these type of the topographic conditions, we know that the how vegetation and organisms are living in our areas. So that's why, dear students, this abiotic components will be asked for you as a 5 marks question. You must be remember this point. Okay, dear students, thank you.